We're looking at a new mic from the RØDE X line. I've got an update on a previous video from the RØDE X line, and all things RØDE X line. Let's roll the thing. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Joe Finley, and today we are talking about RØDE X's XDM-100. That's this bad boy right here. It's the dynamic microphone in the RØDE X line that is geared toward gamers and streamers. And I mean, just look at it for yourself. It is a beautiful microphone, but looks can be deceiving. Or can they? I don't know, let's look at it. In the box, you get the microphone, this big bad shock mount, a windsock, a 3-meter USB-C to USB-C cable, and an equally long headphone extension cable. On the mic itself, on the back, you see it actually has the similar look to any microphone that's an XLR microphone, but it's just the USB-C port back here. On top, you just have a single LED indicator. That's just for you, it's not for the audience. It's just to let you know that it's plugged in, or if it's muted, it turns red. On the bottom, you've got your headphone jack, and you've got your volume control. And if you click in on the volume control, it actually mutes your microphone when you're using the UNIFY app. So if I click in now, but when I click it back, you are. And this is where the update comes in. So I just released a video on the XCM50, the condenser microphone in the RØDE X line, and it also has a click in button that it wasn't working. I was clicking and clicking and clicking, and nothing was happening in UNIFY. It does click in, but it doesn't seem to do anything when I actually click in. I was hoping it was going to be the mute or something like that. It doesn't seem to be the case. But RØDE X actually reached out to me, and I mean, thanks guys for even watching the video. That kind of blows my mind. But they mentioned that it should work with UNIFY, so I was kind of confused. I was reading up on it, I was doing some research, and it occurred to me that I was using a beta version of the software that was sent to me when I was still testing all of this stuff. So what I did is I downloaded the version that's actually available to everybody on RØDEX.com right now, and sure enough, works like a charm now. So now here I am holding this microphone, and if I click it in, I just wanted to put that out there because I want my reviews to be fair, and the fact that RØDE X reached out with a correction, it's only fair because you guys need to know what these microphones can do when you buy it. All right, so let's get into this microphone now. It is a very large guy. That's not a bad thing. It depends on how you game and how you do everything. Some people don't want a really big, like, look at this microphone, look at relative to my bulbous head. If I get down here, you know, I can hide behind there. That's something. But microphone size and what your setup looks like, that's all relative to what you want. So, I mean, if you don't want a giant microphone, you probably aren't even watching this video. You probably clicked on this video and said, oh my God, that thing's gigantic. And then, oh, so yeah, the mic's pretty big too. And I'm sorry. But for those of you who have stuck around, the one thing I really like about a microphone like this and the way it looks, it just has that studio feel still, despite the fact that these are geared towards gamers and things like that. It still has that pro look, you know what I mean? Like, I picture this with the shock mount and all that. I picture 4 of them sitting around a table at like a podcast desk or something like that, but there's nothing wrong with having this microphone in front of you. Currently with this mic arm, it's not blocking my screen at all or anything like that. I've got this in my face. I can see my keyboard, I can access my mouse, everything is good to go. And something else you may have actually noticed about this mic, it looks a lot like the RØDE Procaster. And other than the aesthetic changes to it, like this beautiful red ring, I really like this kind of like this chrome look on it. And then you have the red kind of shining through here that I like, and you can see the branding down here, the RØDE X branding. Where is it? It's over there. It's just a really cool, clean, nice look. Would have liked to have actually seen a white version of this. That might come in the future, I don't know. But the white with the red would actually look really good. Full disclosure, I actually called it dope the first time, and then I heard myself say it. But the white with the red would also look pretty dope. So the only other aesthetic choice you have with this is actually when it comes to this windsock right here. So you can see it looks kind of like a hard plastic, but it's just a rubber. It just slides over top of the microphone, and you can just do that like this, ever so carefully and loudly. And there's a little white spot on the windsock, and that's actually so that LED indicator can shine through, so you can still see whether or not it's a blue light or a red light. And I mean, this doesn't look bad. It's a little puffy. It's not a big deal though. It's not as bad as other ones. You see the ones that have those like old 70s windsocks that just kind of all poof out like this, and those ones are a little more distracting. This is nice, and I like that they actually kept the design of the actual microphone with these rubber bits around it, and it's also just a little bit of structure for it as well. I would have liked, though, something that I think they kind of missed the boat on, since they had that red ring on the inside, to have made this, at least this one ring at the end, red as well, just to give you a little bit of the pop of color. I would have appreciated that, but I want to do a really quick test just to hear what it sounds like when I'm using the P's and the S's and things like that this should theoretically protect against, and see if it's even worth having it on. Because if it's not making a huge difference, I'm going to make the aesthetic choice and just take it off and just have that nice red ring. The small pup, not a hole in the sock. The small pup, not a hole in the sock. So I mean, to my gorgeous ears, the sound was kind of negligible. If I'm talking directly into the microphone, I'm having a little bit more of a plosive issue than I am when the windsock is on, but I usually talk ahead with this just kind of off to the side. So I mean, for the most part, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Test it on your own voice if you're getting this microphone and just see which way you'd rather have it. But to RØDE X for the future versions, if you're going to do something like that with a little color, add a little color to this too. Don't mask your beauty. All right, we have a lot more to cover with this, including its connection to the software, so I'm going to get those great test phrases out of the way. And the twist on this one, we're not actually going to run it through any kind of extra processing. You're just going to hear it the way that it's coming out of there, and the software is the reason, and we'll get into that in a little bit. The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Pressed the pants and sew a button on the vest. The swan dive was far short of perfect. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. And this test can go a little longer because I'm not playing it 3 times, so why don't you make sure you go down and hit the like and subscribe. And then also go subscribe to my new channel, Miscast Play, where I'm going to be doing gaming content. So the microphone sounds good out of the box, but full disclosure, out of the box is kind of a relative term when you have something like this. The reason being, it connects to a software. This connects to RØDE X's UNIFY Software, and on there you're going to be able to control their proprietary Aphex processing. That's going to include your noise gate, compression, your oral exciter and big bottom. And the great thing about this microphone and software symbiosis, and I think Beacon is the only other ones doing this, is that while you're controlling the processing via the software, it's all happening inside a DSP in this microphone. So you're not wasting any of your CPU doing the processing for your microphone. The microphone's doing it for you and then spitting it back out. So while you could absolutely add external filters and processing to this microphone, it shouldn't be necessary. If you go in and you actually fine-tune the stuff that's in the UNIFY software, you should be good as gold. So the mic's coming in at even $249. I think well worth the price. It sounds really good. The software is out of this world. We're going to actually go into full detail on that in a whole other video, so stay tuned for that. But if that one's come out before you watch this video, check the notes down below and there'll be a link there. And probably a card up here. If you're still with us, why don't you go down there and hit the like and subscribe and hit that bell so you know when new videos are coming out. I mean, you made it this far, right? But if you want to see a couple of other microphone reviews, why don't you check these 2 out? And until next time, my friends, let's get to work.